And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death. Worry about my posse getting jumped. Cause if we ever do, yo, TB, pop the trunk. Cause we make a pop the trunk and hit the switch.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
That seriously need to be my ringtone.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, though?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool checking, center stage,
on the mic,
and we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
We're Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do?
we kindly
We get it, people!
Yes!
Oh, it's one of those days.
What they want.
I love the days when you hold the note. It's Wednesday. What's that mean, Jalen Rose?
Hey, ladies!
Women Crush Wednesday is the day that we celebrate the kinder, more intelligent, more responsible,
Better looking,
generally
smelling.
superior gender of our species, the females.
What do you think the population would be if the men had to actually carry for 9 months and do deliveries for children? Half of what it is now?
It'd definitely be less.
It'd be half.
It would definitely be less.
It'd be half of the people walking the face of this earth. That's how amazing women are. I'll say half right off top.
One of the ways that we celebrate women on every Wednesday is we take only female voicemails. Like
They work
this one.
harder than us. They're smarter than us.
Definitely.
Better looking.
My name is Lorelai, and my dad always listens to every one of your podcasts. And most of the time, my dad tells me a silly story, like the story when the dogs pooped on the people's beds in New Zealand. Sometimes I listen to you guys, sometimes I'm interested, sometimes I am not. Is it a boss move or a soft move that my dad won't let me wear my favorite high heels to school?
Soft move or boss move, dad won't let her wear the favorite high heels to school.
First and foremost, we take pride in giving the people what they want. And in doing this show for 8 years, I appreciate how our audience is so very versatile. And when we get callers that parents support and listen to the show, it's really important for our program to acknowledge that. So we appreciate you taking the time and energy to call. And we know some of the topics you're not interested in. Just so you know, some of the topics I'm not interested in either.
Nope.
That'll make you feel better?
Listen, if you want to pick the topics, you're more than welcome to do my job.
I'm just trying to make our caller feel better.
Okay.
Wasn't trying to say anything negative about our program. Don't take it personal. Please don't get in your feelings, David. You work really hard.
Okay.
Along with Harlan and Lisa and Reggie.
Don't do it.
Curtis,
don't do it.
Alex,
don't do it. Don't do
Tyner,
it. Demetrius. Don't do
Demetrius.
it. There's too many. There's too many to name.
We got on Demetrius yesterday, but it's a boss move for your dad to pick and choose what high heels you
Yes.
rock.
But
You're too young.
Here's the thing. Yep. Soft move to buy her high heels in the first place. You're going to buy her the shoes.
Probably didn't buy them.
Yeah, it's probably a gift or something, but
Yeah.
still, you can't. If you give her the shoes,
Good point.
she's going to want to wear them.
But not necessarily to school.
But it's hard to make that distinction.
No, it's not.
Let me tell you something.
No, it's not.
My daughter Margot is obsessed with her ballet outfit. They do that cute little 3-year-old ballet thing. She wants to wear it all the time. I let her wear it. I don't care. I don't care what she wears. But if this is the way that our caller, I believe her name is Linda. I couldn't really catch it at the very beginning of the call. If this is the way that she feels about her high heels, Dad's in trouble.
And also, please feel free to call us more often. We will make you a part of the program.
It's also I understand, because if you send, she sounded like a young lady, very young. I can't guess from the voice, but under 9, right? Under 10, maybe. If you send a child of that age to school in high heels, you're getting talked about by the other parents.
Yes.
You're getting talked about by the teachers. You're getting talked about everybody. Kids are going to come home and be like, Mom, Dad, Linda was wearing high heels. Can I have high heels?
Linda's parents let her wear makeup. So let her wear high heels.
Yeah, do you know what happens now? Now what that is? It's the phone. It's the first kid in the class that gets the phone. So once little Stevie has his own phone, everybody wants a phone. It's like a virus that just spreads throughout the class.
So thank you for the call. Please keep us posted on how you got the high heels, and also distinguish if you can wear them, you just can't wear them at school, and how old you are. We appreciate your support. We'll make you a part of the program. Also, I have to say something and give a huge apology from the pod yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say.
So
I saw the tweet too.
I know.
I saw the tweet too.
So just like
no, this is on me. This is on me.
Just like we do for movies, there's a such thing as a spoiler alert.
Oh no.
And we can't acknowledge somebody that just called the program and ask people to have their kids call the program.
Oh no.
And then I'm going to give you a spoiler alert right now.
Don't.
All kids under 13 should not hear this part.
Yes.
I'm going to give you 2 seconds. 1, 2. Okay. On yesterday's program, and we love the kids. We love giving people what they want.
Love the kids.
How did we talk about families not believing and a teacher not believing in Santa Claus without giving
the teacher basically told a first grade class that Santa Claus wasn't real and their parents bought the presents and their parents moved
and
to
we doubled down on it.
Yeah, and I was like, this person needs to go to jail and all of that. And then I became that person by not adding a spoiler alert. See, we can't. This is on me, Jalen. I know my role. I know your role. You know, this is on me. My role is to prepare for the show, pick the topics, write the scripts. I gotta add the spoiler alert in there. When I saw that tweet,
it broke my heart.
It was just like, I messed up. I messed up. Because listen, I'd say there's probably as many kids heard that topic than there were in that classroom. Probably more. Dad driving around,
teaching the intro.
Yep.
Practicing singing.
The idea that I just ruined the dreams about Santa Claus for dozens of children around. I need to be punished.
It's more than dozens.
Yeah, I know.
Don't try to downplay it.
Oh, there could be dozens.
Well, it's more than,
if it was 7,000, it could be dozens.
It's more than dozens.
Dude, look, everything's divisible by 12. It's
thousands.
If it's 3 million, it could be dozens. I apologize. I should go to jail.
And you have 3 small kids.
Yeah. I got
Imagine right now if Q was listening to our podcast and he heard that.
Q, I told you, some of the older kids already told Q that Santa Claus isn't real. Yep. In the summertime. Like, he was at summer camp. The local school in my neighborhood. He came home one day and was like, so-and-so said Santa Claus wasn't real. How old is so-and-so? He was like 2nd grade. I was like,
Yeah, millennials, y'all heard how I just used that term? That's considered hating. When a 5-year-old just believes in Santa Claus and living his best life on the playground in the summertime, and you purposely want to ruin it by telling him Santa Claus doesn't exist. That's a hate move.
Yeah, it is. Like, what do you get out of that?
You get nothing.
This is making me sad. Can we listen to another voicemail?
Yes.
Hey guys, this is Erin calling from Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out Reggie. Huge shout out to my boyfriend David. Happy birthday on December 14th. Wanted to know your guys' opinion about celebrating birthdays as an adult. Soft move or boss move to go all out when it's not a huge birthday. Thanks so much. Love you guys.
This is a good one. Here's my stance. Because this is more of an individual decision on your part. If it's not a landmark birthday, of course you celebrate every single birthday. But if it's not a landmark birthday, you don't have to do the thing where you invite all your friends somewhere. Yep. You know, I just turned 40. I invited everybody. I just went through my phone and just said everybody. People I just met once or twice. Come on through. Appreciate you. But 41, go out with my wife. You know? And maybe like have a shot when I'm with my boys a couple days later. But I don't think coordinating a party, sending out an Evite. If you're at the Evite level for a non-landmark birthday, soft move. Jalen Rose, your thoughts?
I disagree with you and you're dead wrong.
What Stephen A., what are you doing?
What do you mean?
That was a Stephen A. move.
To disagree with you and say that you're dead wrong?
Yeah. That's Stephen
I've been kind of saying that my entire life.
Okay.
I heard the Notorious Big actually use that before. You're dead wrong. Here's why. And I think you're using a term wrong. You keep calling it a landmark birthday.
Yeah.
Isn't it a milestone?
They mean the same thing.
Okay, that's like 21.
Yeah, milestone's probably 30, more appropriate 40. Of a term if you want to start splitting hairs.
Okay. So here's why you're wrong. How many birthdays are we guaranteed?
0.
Correct.
1 maybe?
So who are we to say, I'm not going to celebrate 41, but I'm going to wait until 50?
You know, I'm the guy that says people don't celebrate enough.
Correct.
Right? I support celebrating. Let me further make the distinction of exactly what I'm talking about. An Evite, a venue that's not your home, and inviting more than 30 people. That's what I'm talking about. Like throwing a real party.
People do that to watch sporting events. To watch football games.
You've never invited more than 30 people over your home to watch a football game that wasn't the Super Bowl. You never have.
I'm a Lions fan.
Okay, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you mean.
Like week 3?
I know what you mean.
Week 3, you're not inviting 31 people over your house.
But if you think about it, most people don't invite 30 people over their house anyway.
I know.
Regardless
That's
of
my
the
point.
occasion.
I'm saying, let me make the distinction. More than 30 people are on the invite list.
Okay.
Only if it is a milestone birthday.
Let me get
that's fair, right?
Let me take the floor from the Grinch, who talks about we don't celebrate enough.
Mm-hmm.
I say, and please listen to this. Take it from somebody who has become the straw that stirs the drink in his life, as it relates to family, as it relates to friends. The people who act like they don't care if they get a card, if you don't call them, if you don't acknowledge their birthday, if you don't hit them up on holidays, guess what? Those are the people that care the most.
I think that's fair, but there are 2 types of people. You go all out for your birthday. You like your birthday. You want the attention. You want the presents.
No, that's different. That
you
is
want
not,
it.
That is not
I know you, Jalen.
That is not an accurate.
I know you.
That is not an accurate depiction of somebody who did a shotgun wedding and didn't even tell you where I was registered. That is not accurate.
Okay. We're not talking about weddings.
No, but we're talking about milestone events in your life.
Okay, we're talking about birthdays.
That personality trait doesn't.
I wouldn't
that personality trait.
I don't tell people, yo, my birthday is tomorrow. You know what I mean? I don't tell people that. I don't publicize it. It's just, you know who you are. I know who I am. So you want people to know it's your birthday?
No.
And to do that.
Again, you keep trying to make it.
This isn't a negative thing.
No.
This isn't a negative thing. I'm not saying you hate puppies.
No, here's the distinction you're trying to make that I'm not going to allow you to do.
Okay.
You use the word, I like the attention on my birthday twice. Okay? I want to clarify something. I like attention every day. It don't have to be my birthday.
You're the best.
Number 1. Number 2, especially on my birthday. No doubt about it. Why would I celebrate 50 and not celebrate 46? That don't even make sense.
Makes sense to me. We're different.
I might not even be here for 50.
46, I'll go out and have like a really good meal, steak.
You do that every day.
Peppercorn sauce.
You do that twice a week.
With my wife, though.
That's who you're going to be with on your birthday.
Maybe I'll do like I have you and Molly come, Mike and Lauren.
Okay, perfect example. I got you right now. I got you good.
Okay, Stephen A.
Why you keep calling me him?
I don't know, because I know it bothers you.
What have you been doing the last 2 nights?
Playing basketball.
And then what'd you do after basketball?
I might have had an adult beverage afterwards.
Okay, how many people were there?
9.
Okay! You out on a Tuesday night with 9 people, but you can't be out with 15 people on your birthday?
Jalen, it's very different. You're like, when you started this, I really thought you were going to get me. Jalen, it takes a certain amount of people to play basketball. And after basketball, physical activity, it feels really good to have an adult beverage. So we just go across the street.
Jacoby, those are the other 8 people that you usually hang out with when it's like your birthday if they're your friends. What about that?
Yep.
What did you do on your last birthday?
Well, it was my 40th. It was my 40th. We had a big shout to the blind barber, Josh, my guy.
You have no loyalty to barbers.
Shout out.
I don't.
By the way.
Oh, the guys at the barbershop.
I want to create a segment. The most underappreciated individuals walking the face of this earth are barbers.
No. I'm not going to let you do that. Teachers.
I mean,
doctors, first responders. Come on, Jay. Not literally. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Okay.
Not literally.
Maybe before you say something, you should be like, I'm saying something, but I don't mean it.
No.
And then you say it.
Here's what I mean.
Okay.
I'm not talking about those who have serious jobs or professions.
Oh, okay. Now being a barber is not serious. Okay.
I'm not finished. that requires you to put yourself in harm's way or can be fatal or tragic. I'm not talking about those professions.
Oh, what about teachers?
And I'm definitely not talking about teachers as the founder of a school.
Okay.
With that being said,
Nurses,
a fun
doctors,
topic
people that care for the elderly.
for this show that I want to bring to life is how underappreciated barbers are. And look no further than this show, how loyal and dedicated I am to the individuals who take time and energy to cut me, and to you who are walking the barbershop and get a cut by anybody in there.
So I do that every time. I walk in the barbershop. First of all,
how about
this? Let me tell you my story from the last time I walked in the barbershop.
Please listen to him.
I walk in the barbershop.
Please listen to him.
And there's a bench where people wait. There's 3 people waiting there. There's 4 chairs. There's 3 barbers working. One barber who I've got my haircut from before, and he does a great job, and he was standing there. I walk in, there's 3 people waiting. I go, how long's the wait? He goes, I'll take you right now. I'm thinking to myself, these 3 people are sitting there waiting on the bench when they can get a haircut right now. That just doesn't make sense to me. That's inefficient. And then secondly, I go over and the guy says to me, he goes, do you have a TV show? Did I see you on ESPN? And I was like, nah, my twin brother. Like I said that a lot and they kind of believe it for a second. He's like, nah, you're kidding. I was like, nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that was me on the show. And they go, we didn't think it was you because you don't like to talk a lot. And then I was like, yo, do you cut hair when you get home? You know, it's like, hey, I need some quiet time. I got to deal with Jalen Rose talking to me about barbers being the most important, underappreciated profession in the world.
They are. So talk about your 40th birthday, and what did you do for 39?
You know I'm not good.
I was with you on your 39th
You know
birthday.
recollection isn't my strong suit.
That's
you know
why
what
I'm
I mean?
asking you.
Like analytical thought, writing, humor. Those are things that I'm good at intellectually.
I'm not asking you to come up with
recall.
E equals MC squared.
Recall? I don't know what I did for my 39th, but I know I had a 40th birthday party. You couldn't make it. It made me sad. But it was a great event. You're out of town.
Why did I miss it?
You're out of town. You had something to do.
When is your birthday?
April 12th. You had something to do. It was playoffs or something.
Playoffs.
Yeah, it was something. It made sense. You know what? Let's get the people to it.
Getting knocked down on the football field makes you tough. But getting back up makes you tougher. At Goodyear, we call that determination. A willingness to put in more hours, more reps, and more heart to reach a bar that's sky high. Because the Goodyear blimp doesn't show up for just anybody. So don't be just anybody. Be blimp-worthy. Goodyear, more driven.
Markelle Fultz has had a very rocky start to his professional basketball playing career. We all know the story. But now there is a new report. His agent/lawyer, Raymond Brothers, has announced that he has thoracic outlet syndrome. Huh? Thoracic outlet syndrome. Okay. It is a nerve condition that affects your shoulder, essentially. Interesting. He's expected to miss 3 to 6 weeks while he gets rehab on this condition. Jalen, I have a lot of thoughts on this, but I'll start with you. What was your immediate reaction when you heard about this diagnosis?
My immediate reaction to the entire Markelle Fultz saga, as I'll call it, since he's gotten drafted, is something that I've carefully covered and watched what I say. Because I truly feel while that condition clearly exists because he was diagnosed, this also seems to be a little bit bigger than basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you get drafted, number one, there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of expectations. Well, they get heightened when the team gives up a first-round pick for you and Jason Tatum to take you.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you play that team in the playoffs, and he's averaging over 20, and you're getting DNPs.
Yeah. Yep.
So you come into this year, the team force feeds you into the starting lineup for your value, for your confidence, and just to see what they can get from the number one pick and hope that you were going to develop this year. Before you know it, the team goes out, makes a blockbuster move, and bring in Jimmy Butler. Now they're a contending team. They don't have time to nurture Markelle Fultz. Nope. So if he's going to have a long career, it's not going to be in Philadelphia. He will never meet expectations of a number one pick by the fans, by the organization, by teammates in that city. The best move for both sides is for him not to be a part of their squad anymore. That that gives him the best opportunity to have a long career.
So I'm glad you said that because that's where I want to start. Now, I did not know what thoracic outlet syndrome was before. I cannot diagnose thoracic outlet syndrome. I do not know anything about thoracic outlet syndrome, but I just want to display some facts. You mentioned that they've got Jimmy Butler. It doesn't seem like Markelle Fultz is part of their long-term plans. That's been reported. Okay, well then, what are we going to trade Markelle Fultz? His trade value couldn't be that high based on all the things that have happened. And if you remember, just a couple days ago, there was a rumorish report about other Sixers players being concerned about Markelle Fultz. And the inference was they're concerned about kind of where his head is at. So if you are a team who doesn't have a future with this player and you're thinking about his trade value, you're his agent and his lawyer, you're like, this isn't good because not a lot of teams are going to want to trade for somebody that's not performing that well on the floor. And there's been sort of rumors about where his head is at. And this is just, I'm not saying he doesn't have thoracic outlet syndrome. I have no idea if he does, but it's just convenient, the timeline of like, we're going to give it a name. We're going to give it a timeline of when it's going to be better. And that sort of like ties a bow on the whole saga and makes a neat little thing that helps his trade value.
If I'm the Sixers, I trade him for a second-round pick in 2040. Jalen, that's not nice. That's what I would do.
Really?
He can't reach his promise under those circumstances.
I mean, you're essentially saying you would cut him. I mean, because there's no value in a second-round pick in 2040.
Well, there's always value in any pick, but also it's getting something in return. If you look deeper into rosters, there are people making $10 million that the team and or them are unhappy with their situation.
Of course.
You can move anybody in the NBA.
Of course.
Okay. That's the only thing that's going to give him a chance to have a career. I ain't even talking about like living up to the hype of a number one pick. I ain't even talking about that. I'm talking about to have a career.
I mean, that's where he is right now.
Because he has the lowest scoring average, one of the lowest scoring averages in his first 2 seasons of any guy that's gone number one.
Let me ask the question. Are you a little bit skeptical about the thoracic outlet syndrome diagnosis?
No, I'm not, because I understand how the game is clearly physical and mental. And when I see you at the free throw line, pity-patting with the ball before you shoot it, that's both. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what that is.
There's also another interesting wrinkle to this, is Raymond Brothers came straight to us, came straight to ESPN with this diagnosis. This is a report. Didn't go to the Sixers first. What does that tell you?
That tells me that relationship is fractured. We saw that from last season when Coach Brett Brown was talking about his shooting form and said that he basically wouldn't play until he's able to make a shot. Mm-hmm. Okay? So we saw that fracture between his representatives and the organization happening last year. It just continued.
Oh, and then he had a shooting coach over the summer, and then he stopped talking to the shooting coach. There's something going on. Jalen Rose, it's time for you to take us behind the curtain. Do you remember it was just last week when Kevin Durant was on the baseline in Dallas and he had this exchange with a fan in the front row? He was cursing at a fan in the front row. Well, here he is last night in Atlanta.
Watch the game and shut up.
Jalen Rose, take us behind the curtain. I've never played in the NBA. Are these type of exchanges between opposing fans and basketball players commonplace, or is this unique to Kevin Durant?
I'm about to really give you some game. So, as a basketball player, and majority of the NBA and NFL for that matter is predominantly black, what happens in many dynamics is you grow up in an urban environment, and that becomes the people that are in the stands as well when they're watching you play in the Detroit public school system, for example.
Sure.
Now, when you play states, the crowd becomes more diverse. When you get to college, it's predominantly a white audience. And in the pros, it's on another level corporate as it relates to who's there to watch the game.
No, in those seats especially.
So there's a difference between people jeering me in high school, because I might have to actually run into them one day away from the basketball court. And guess what I'm doing when I'm on the court? I ain't saying nothing back, because that could be fatal. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, once you start to play in college, you're like, oh, they ain't going to do nothing. Right? They're not, because I'm a college athlete. Like, it's 20,000 people. They're yelling at me, but
the kids at Indiana University are not going to do anything.
They can't throw anything at me. They can't punch me. And after the game, it's not going to be any physical altercation if they see me in the hood or see me at the mall. Okay. So now when you get to the league, you're getting paid millions of dollars. You're playing the sport that you love. You're on the biggest stage. You're not going to deal with shade. And it has nothing to do with basketball. It's just that I'm an accomplished man. I'm not dealing with any disrespect. Mm-hmm. That's all that is. And so when people yell things at you, you should be at the liberty to speak back at them. Sure. I used to do it all of the time.
Yeah, I believe
all
and also
of the time.
In Kevin Durant's defense, I think those are two sort of different type of incidents, because the one in Dallas seemed like he was angry, and the one in Atlanta, he was smiling. You know what I mean? It seemed like it was a little joyous back and forth, like trash talk, where in Dallas it seemed like he was upset with somebody.
Not to pick on Dallas, because the home team 100% should root against, yell chants, and all of that at the opposing player. But for whatever it's worth, Patrick Beverley also had an incident in Dallas that I told you was going to cost him $25,000.
And it cost him $25,000.
And so for KD, I think he learned from the first situation, and he handled it different the second time around. But these exchanges happen during the game all of the time.
I believe it.
All of the time.
Well, Klay Thompson was asked about the Cavaliers and their pettiness after the Cavaliers famously came back from a 3-1 deficit to beat the Warriors. And then you remember their little party where they had the 3-1 cookies and all of that? He said, that was funny. Look how that turned out. Psh, bums. That was crazy. I forgot about that. Well, look at what pettiness gets you. It gets you 1-8 in the finals, idiots. What do you think about Klay Thompson's statement?
Well, if he's talking about bums and he's talking about 1-8 in the finals, that's LeBron James.
Mm-hmm. And Kyrie.
So it's not really about like the Cavs, because he's talking toward the leader of that team. And so I like his honesty. And when you look at where the Warriors are now and the Cavs are now and LeBron is now, he's right.
Oh, okay. I think it's fair.
You always say you can be mean
if you're funny.
Those
cookies weren't funny.
They weren't funny.
Nope. It's time for News That Matters. A Harvard professor, Jalen Rose, intelligent person, said that when eating French fries, the appropriate thing to do nutritionally is eat 6 of the French fries and send the rest back. He thinks the optimum portion of French fries is 6 French fries. Yep. Do you think anyone, a single human being on the face of the planet, will actually do this?
Never. Because it had me thinking, like, when you get an order of fries, what is it, probably 30?
Oh, I mean, depending on the size of the fry, shoestring, steak fries, but we know what a size of fries looks like.
Absolutely.
Get a bunch of fries.
And it's unrealistic, and it's just inconceivable to imagine somebody actually doing this. First and foremost, a child or a kid ain't doing this.
Oh, no.
Young adult ain't doing this.
I've seen you.
I ain't doing this.
I've been with you. You order fries, and then you get about 3/4 of the way done. You don't send the other quarter back. You say, another order of fries, please.
Crispy.
And you still stay skinny somehow. I don't know how this works. Very, very jealous of your metabolism. There's so much to do here in New York since I moved to New York. There's just so many events, so many venues, so many shows. There's just so much going on. The Knicks are in town. The Nets are across the bridge. I love live sports. Hockey is so much fun to go to live. And one of the problems is when you're considering all of this, it just gets complicated when you're buying tickets online. Well, buying tickets online with SeatGeek is so easy. SeatGeek pulls millions of tickets into one place so you can find the seats that you want for the price that you're willing to pay. What they do is they go out and search all of the sites where you can buy live event tickets, and they bring in the best values. And when you're on their site, they have a color-coded system that tells you which ones are the good values, which ones are the bad values. It's so easy to use, and I am not that intelligent, and I use this all the time. You can tell the dark green ones are a great value. Right before you click on it, it'll tell you whether or not you are getting a good deal, and you know that your seats are guaranteed every single time. Every purchase is fully guaranteed, so you can shop for tickets on SeatGeek with confidence. It's so easy to use this app. When you arrive at the venue, you just click on your SeatGeek icon, and there's a code right there. You scan it, and you're in, and you're having a good time. I'm taking Quincy to his first Knicks game soon. I can't decide exactly which game. I want him to see a good opponent. I want him to see a good show. I can't wait to take him to MSG. And when I do that, I will do it with SeatGeek. Our listeners of Jalen and Jacoby, not only can you get the ease and the guaranteed tickets from SeatGeek, you can get some money too. If you download the SeatGeek app to your phone and you enter promo code Jacoby, Jacoby, today, that's promo code Jacoby, you get $10 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Get out, do something, get $10 off, use the promo code Jacoby, put SeatGeek on your phone because life's an event and they have the tickets. Jalen Rose, Miami Heat haven't been great this season. Things aren't going great for the Heat, and they weren't going that great last night. They were down, losing. They ended up losing by 15 to the Magic. And with 40 seconds left, Hassan Whiteside, who did not play the entire fourth quarter, got up and just left the bench. Dwayne Wade said he had to go to the bathroom. Jalen, do you think Hassan Whiteside had to go to the bathroom so bad that he left the bench early?
No. He didn't play in the fourth quarter. I think that had a big-time effect on him leaving late. When he got his big contract, he has not been the anchor-changing player that they hoped he'd be once signing him. Just look around the landscape of the league. Mm-hmm. When you invest $90 to $100 million in your big man, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, like you need those guys, Andre Drummond, you need those guys to be anchors for your team.
Yeah.
He's been an inconsistent performer. Look no further than last year's playoffs. Look at the start of this season. He should be a guy that they can rely on for points, for rebounds, for blocks, for energy, for leadership. He hasn't consistently been able to provide that. So therefore, the team as a whole has been struggling. Not to put all of their struggles on him, but he's supposed to be their franchise player, and he's not performing like that.
So in NBA circles, there's a lot of discussion about the way the Miami Heat do things. It's like they're kind of like an optimum program. Like that franchise is well run and organized and disciplined. And LeBron James learned how to win when he was in Miami, and he took that and applied it in his other places. How do you think they handle this if you're Spoelstra or Riley?
What do I respectfully call the culture of the Miami Heat?
The Miami Mafia?
Okay. How do you lead a mafia? Get whacked.
What? Hassan Whiteside's going to get murdered?
The point is, they have unyielding loyalty to people who have worn that uniform. Mm-hmm. When you watch the Heat play and you look at their org chart of people that they employ, they take care of their former players. Mm-hmm. Look at a guy like Udonis Haslem. He's still being paid by the Heat to play basketball. But really, he's functioning almost like an assistant coach.
Of course.
That's the loyalty they have. So for Hassan Whiteside, this level of behavior, it won't be outwardly acknowledged how he got punished. Yeah, you'll see at the bottom of the screen that he got fined by the team or he got disciplined by the team, that type of scenario. But ultimately, it doesn't get away from the point. They need him to be a dominant basketball player. They're frustrated. He's frustrated. But the great thing about the NBA, there's plenty of games every week. Mm-hmm. You got a chance to do something about it.
Yeah, the best thing to do would earn yourself a spot to be that they can't take you out in the fourth quarter. Well, I'm kind of, I'm a Die Easy fan, right?
Of the Heat?
No, not of the Heat. I'm kind of falling in love with the Raptors, Jalen. I've been watching some Raptors game. I'm loving the style of play that they have, their depth, Siakam, Spicy P, Serge. I'm a Serge guy. Kawhi out there. I'm falling in love with this team. They are 20-5 and have the best record in the NBA. And it's becoming increasingly clear to me that they will represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals. Do you agree?
The greatest theater I have come playoff time is who plays the Warriors in the conference finals and who watches the Eastern Conference Finals. Because four teams are going to be in the conversation. Celtics will be there. I know you're looking at their record in the standings.
They'll be there.
They'll find a way to get it together. Sixers adding Jimmy Butler to go with Joel Embiid and Simmons. Obviously, you have the Greek Freak adding Coach Bud in Milwaukee. And then you have this squad. And so the Raptors are unique for me because Kawhi Leonard could be a one-year rental. Just think about that for a second.
Could be.
But what about all of the chess moves that Masai Ujiri has made that have paid off?
Well, I'm glad you brought up Masai, because our colleague and friend Rachel Nichols sat down with Kyle Lowry, and they had a little conversation about his relationship with Masai, and here's what Kyle had to say.
He's the president of basketball operations, and that's it. For me, I come out here and do my job.
That's an answer that leaves a lot of room for interpretation.
He does his job, I do my job, right? That's what you do.
That's where you guys stand.
That's where we stand.
He also said that he felt betrayed by the DeMar DeRozan trade. What does that statement from Lowry tell you?
I don't like it because the lines get blurred so many times in business versus what's personal. And I know what DeMar DeRozan put into being a Toronto Raptor, re-signing with the team.
Yep.
He's the second most productive player in the history of the franchise behind Vince Carter. The impact that he's had for that franchise. And so I understand that he wanted to continue to play there. I understand that Masai told him that he was not looking to move him. But as somebody that got moved a couple of times, when I got traded from Indiana to Chicago, worst record in the league. Buried me. They didn't bury him. He got traded to the Spurs.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He got traded to arguably one of the greatest coaches of all time in any sport. It just so happened that they have injuries. They lost DeJounte Murray, their starting point guard, and then they lost Walker, a first-round draft pick. They lost their future in the backcourt due to injury. This is not a true microcosm of who the Spurs are. So for Kyle, who got a big deal from Masai, if they wanted to trade Kyle Lowry, do you think they have a lot of suitors at that salary?
Not a lot, but they're suitors.
Okay.
Especially the way he's been playing this year.
Correct. So this is a relationship, a business one, as he acknowledged, but also from a personal standpoint, it kind of did look out for you. Because he was a player looking for a home that played for multiple teams before he got to Toronto. When he got there, became an all-star. And as a matter of fact, since he's been there, and a lot of this has to do with fan voting, has been a perennial all-star. But yet, in the playoffs, has not performed like one. So now when you're looking at your roster as a president, you say, we can't pay Dwayne Casey $7 million. We can't pay DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry $300 million to be our backcourt. We have to shake this up because this team has not met expectations. So I understand that semantic of whether he felt lied to or betrayed. And same with DeMar, who I have a lot of respect for him, have a lot of respect for Kyle. But I'm going to make sure people respect Masai Ujiri. Because as the average fan who's coaching the team with the best record in the league, they don't even know his name.
That's a good point. I bet your casual NBA fan doesn't know who Nick Nurse is.
Okay, OG Anunoby out of Indiana, playing quality minutes. Pascal Siakam has been conference player of the week.
He's blowing up.
Okay, Fred VanVleet, probably one of the best point guards in the entire league.
These aren't exactly Zion Williamson.
These ain't household names. Serge Ibaka, they told him after last year, instead of playing the 4, we're going to play you small ball 5. You know what other domino that means? Valanciunas, you now come off the bench.
Valanciunas, when he subs in sometimes, like, oh, I forgot Valanciunas is on his team.
If you can add 2 champions, one is a top flight player in Kawhi Leonard, and the other one is Danny Green, a 3-and-D guy, and you got to give up DeMar DeRozan. Guess what? Everybody does that deal.
Very, very quickly. I think a lot of people forget that Danny Green was involved. Like, I would swap, I mean, DeMar, you would think that DeMar DeRozan would be enough to land Kawhi Leonard, but they're like, no, we need Danny Green too.
Because he's in the final year of his contract. So you're taking a risk. So here's the win-win for the Raptors. Have a successful season, hope to make the finals, do something you've never done. And if Kawhi leaves, you didn't have to pay Casey. You don't still have DeMar's salary, and you can actually rebuild your team. He stays, You keep Kawhi, obviously.
We be moving, you know we keep it moving.
Not everything is worth discussing. So we have a segment called Keep It Moving. An NBA coach publicly to the media threw one of his players under the bus. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
I'll say hit the brakes.
Phoenix Suns head coach Igor Kokoskov said this about DeAndre Ayton after the game in which the Suns scored 9 points in the first quarter. He said that DeAndre Ayton did not come ready to play. Woo. Jalen, has any coach ever called you out publicly after a bad game?
Coaches always call you out whether they're doing it by name or not. You know who they're alluding to, talking to by looking at the stat sheet. Based on the position of the players, based on the responsibilities on the team, and based on your obligations to get it done. So whether he mentioned them by name or not is irrelevant, especially if it's a fact, which it was. And shout to the Sacramento Kings, who have outplayed expectations this season. More so than the Phoenix Suns.
Absolutely. Next, Seattle is getting a major sports franchise. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
Well, it's not an NBA franchise. It is the 32nd franchise in the NHL. They're getting a hockey team. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the potential for Seattle to add an NBA team. Jalen Rose, how does Seattle get an NBA team back?
See, here's what's tricky. Like, when I first saw that the NHL was expanding, the first thing that came to mind is, do they have that many superstar players?
And didn't they just do this in Las Vegas?
And so, and Vegas did well with their first year of expansion. They won a championship. And so, it just, for NBA basketball, we're talking about super teams. There would be more people enthusiastic if they contracted.
That's fair.
Versus if they expanded. So that's what's going to make it tough for Seattle. But you know how it works. When a team falls out of favor with the city about zoning and or about a new arena in the next 10 years.
They start looking around.
They start
flirting with Seattle and get a bid. Well, the Golden Knights won the Western Conference Championship and then lost in the Stanley Cup Finals. Next, Patrick Corbin agreed to a 6-year, $140 million deal with the Washington Nationals. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Keep it moving. This is what I love about baseball. People that aren't notable can get the biggest contract that you'll see from an NBA player sometime.
Luka Doncic is playing. Seems like his hip is looking better.
He balling. Hit the brakes.
Luka Doncic had some great highlights in this Mavs game. I mean, first of all, he's balling. I mean, against the Blazers, full court pass, boom, on a dime to DSJ who dunks it. And then there's this step back three. Oh, I'm going in. No, I'm not. Skirt. Big shot at the end of the game to win it all. Luka Doncic is looking impressive. How do you feel about his performance?
So that move, and I'm glad you guys just showed that play, that's not a step back. Like, what we used to do is a step back. That's a step hop. Like James Harden does that as well. When you first watch it, you're like, did he travel? But if you keep that inside foot down, they'll never call it. And so that move, just so everybody know, is the equivalent of when we saw Karl Malone and then Dirk start shooting off one foot. It's the exact same thing.
It does look different.
It's infiltrating the league.
It's kind of like the Euro step where it's just like everyone's got him. But he created so much space with that. Like he went like 7 feet with that one step.
And so I appreciate that we're talking about Doncic, and it's not only about his passing and his court sense. It's about his ability to get buckets.
9 rebounds.
He's scoring on people too. It's really impressive for a first year.
Doncic.
Shout out to the entire rookie class though.
So many good
Wendell
players.
Carter Jr.
So many
playing
good players.
when he gets an opportunity.
Jaren Jackson
Chicago.
Jr. is
No
doing
doubt
things
about
in Memphis.
Trey Young, Ayton,
Moving
Bagley.
on. There is a dog that played professional soccer. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Dog, professional, hit the brakes.
Well, there's an Argentinian soccer club that was in the middle of a match when this happened. Yeah, it happened. Look. The goalie tries to kick it. Oh, wait, I stopped it. And they try to score. Boom, dog goalie pops up. First of all, the goalie, you made a mistake here, dog. Come on, you can't just kick it to the other team. And then the dog came to save the day. Jalen Rose, how do you think they rewarded this dog?
Boss move, no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
That dog definitely made his owner made his or her owner happy.
Yes, they got a steak.
By stopping that goal, and they got a chance to sleep in the bed.
Oh, sleep in the bed. Kevin Hart will be hosting the 91st Oscars. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
That's so dope. Keep it moving. We'll talk more about that as it gets closer. I appreciate what he's done with his career. Big shout.
A movie star is taking credit for yoga.
Hit the brakes.
You know I love yoga, Jalen. Ever since yoga came into my life, I'm yogaed out. I'm doing all the poses. So this is important to me. Gwyneth Paltrow was asked about yoga, and here's what she had to say.
Gwen.
Quote, I remember when I started doing yoga and people were like, what's yoga? She's a witch. She's a freak. Forgive me if this comes out wrong. You know it's going to come out wrong when you said that. But I went to do a yoga class in LA recently, and the 22-year-old girl behind the counter was like, have you ever done yoga before? And literally I turned to my friend and I was like, you have this job because I've done yoga before. Jalen, explain to me, because you're a famous person and you've been famous for decades. How does your worldview get so skewed that you think you're responsible for people doing yoga?
This is a classic example of people feeling like they're really more important than they actually are.
Yes. How do you get there, though?
It's a class. You know how you get there? Enablers. It starts with yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, when you look in the mirror, you shouldn't see your representative. You shouldn't see your publicist. You should actually see yourself.
Yes.
And then it starts with the enablers, whether that's people on your staff, whether that's family, whether that's friends. It's great to have people around you to keep you humble. This clearly is not an example of that. When somebody's doing their job and you look at them and think they have their job because of you. One person doing yoga, something that people have been doing since the 1800s.
For real. Even if not before the 1800s. Quick question. Do you know who Gwyneth Paltrow is?
An actress. An actor.
Do you know what she looks like? If she was in this room, would you say, hey, Gwyneth?
Yes.
You name a movie she was in. We were talking about this before the show, and I was like, I don't think Jalen knows anything about Gwyneth Paltrow.
Was she in
Probably not.
Iron Man?
Yes! Good job, Jalen Rose.
Only reason why I know about that, Tony Stark's.
Tony Stark's Ghostface.
Shout out.
Finally, we have some statue news. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Of course we hitting the brakes. Are you kidding me?
In Westford, Vermont, there's been a long-running property dispute, and it didn't work out in this one gentleman's favor. So he erected a massive $4,000 middle finger statue. I have one question. Where did the other $3,000 go? Like, I'll give you a huge middle finger statue for $1,000. Like, he didn't get a lot of bids for this statue. He way overpaid for this middle finger statue. As the senior statue analyst, not just at ESPN, but in the world, do you agree with my assessment?
I agree with your assessment, but also, this is a boss move. No question about it.
Really?
Like, you disrespect me, you assassinate my character, you slander me, and I got a little bread in my pocket. I'm going to get you back.
For real.
And no better way than to erect a statue with a middle finger. Take that. Take
Somewhere
that.
There's a statue artist that came home and was like, I got this guy to pay $4,000 for a statue.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
Tissot is the official watch of the NBA. Each one of Tissot's timepieces delivers quality performance and traditional luxury. The Tissot Chrono XL is a great watch for those looking for a sporty chronograph with Swiss technology at an unbeatable price. While the Tissot PR100 family of watches brings together sporty and feminine details for a collection that is bold, romantic, and ideal for the modern woman. Shop Tissot at us.tissotshop.com and at select watch and jewelry stores nationwide.
Jalen, things are getting weird in Green Bay. Mike McCarthy got fired. Joe Philbin placed him. And then their linebacker coach, that's an important role, Winston Moss, took to Twitter and tweeted this. Ponder this. What championship teams have a great leadership, period? It's not the offensive guru trend, not the safe trend. They need to hold number 12 accountable. And then he said, the Packers have informed me that I've been fired. Hashtag thanks Twitter. So let me get this straight. He criticized the franchise for not holding Aaron Rodgers accountable and then immediately gets fired. What do you think of this?
I think they did him a favor.
Oh.
This seems to me like someone who felt when Mike McCarthy left, and we don't know the relationship that they have, wanted to go to.
This is an indication.
Because he knew when he pressed send, that was a paragraph. That wasn't like one or two words. Yeah. He got plenty of chance to edit.
He thought about that. He got the grammar right. He showed it to his friend. His friend was like, you're going to get fired. He's like, I know I'm going to get fired.
And what did he say to Twitter?
Thanks, Twitter.
And also, but let's look deeper into the meaning of what he was trying to get across. Basically, what he did is brought us behind the curtain and gave us a snapshot of what people feel in the building as it relates to holding Aaron Rodgers accountable. And he clearly let us know that he doesn't think that that's taking place, which means that a lot of people in that facility feel the same way.
You always say that winning is the best deodorant, right? But the opposite is true, too. Losing stinks. And it seems like there's a lot of unhappy people in Green Bay right now.
He's the first Super Bowl winning quarterback to be, the first Super Bowl winning head coach to be fired during a season by that team. So this doesn't happen really often. And also, for the club, it does give them a jump start on who might be the next replacement.
Yep.
I just don't see the Green Bay Packers as one of those franchises that's going to pay $10 million for their next head coach.
Well, we'll find out. The Washington football team had Alex Smith at the quarterback. He got hurt. So then they brought in Colt McCoy. Great name, not a great quarterback. He got hurt. Do you know who played for the Washington football team on Monday Night Football under center? A gentleman by the name of Mark Sanchez. So when you're playing Mark Sanchez, you know people are going to ask the question, did you consider Colin Kaepernick? Jay Gruden answered the following, quote, there's not a lot of time to get a brand new quarterback and system installed in a couple of days.
Why you always
He's been talked about, but will probably go in a different direction. Jalen Rose, what do you think about that statement from Gruden and the state of the Washington football team?
First off, just as a brother, I hate when people try to act like the system is what's keeping us from getting a game.
Yeah, like Mark Sanchez was up to date on the Redskins offense.
Correct.
The Washington football team's offense.
Correct. There's a reason why Sanchez is out of the league. He just showed that he couldn't cut it as an NFL quarterback. There's a different reason why Colin's out of the league. So, thanks to the amazing help of our staff, I have a little research for you.
What? You did research for the show?
I want to give you some crappy quarterbacks that have actually played football and got checks this year.
Okay.
Blaine Gabbert.
Yo, Gabba Gabbert.
How about Matt Barkley?
I remember him.
How about Cody Kessler? How about Chase Daniel? There's more. Jeff Driscoll.
So Colin Kaepernick.
Colt McCoy.
Jeff Driscoll?
You ready for this? Nathan Peterman. Remember him?
Oh, of course I remember the Peterman.
He played a couple of seasons. All he did was throw it to the other team. How about C.J. Beathard? There's more. Derek Anderson. Now, he was not even in the league.
Just like Mark Sanchez.
For years.
No, Derek Anderson and Mark Sanchez are surprised when the phone rings and someone offers them a job. They're shocked. They're not like Carmelo, like trying to get back in. They're shocked.
So this clearly helps, and it helps acknowledge the collusion case that Colin currently has against the NFL. And it's a slam dunk why we're going to wake up one day and see at the bottom of the ticker that he won this case.
It's going to happen.
He will win his collusion case because of things like this.
Remember where you heard it first. Women Crush Wednesday continues.
Hey, ladies!
We appreciate all your voicemails like this one.
Hey, guys. Happy Wednesday. Shout out to the crew. Reggie, my husband's been rocking with you since Pick It Up. Now I have a couple of questions. Why are you guys so hard on Rondo? Also, there's a feud going on in my house right now over this whole Lance Stephenson thing. My husband says that you actually do love Lance Stephenson, but I can't believe you're so sarcastic. That has to be sarcasm, right? You're not serious, right? When you guys talk about him, it just seems really sarcastic, but my husband says, no, it's real, like you do love him. So I just want to know what the deal is. Can you settle this feud once and for all? All right, guys, have a great day. Bye.
Okay. Shout out to her for calling in. I don't believe she left her name.
Shout out.
But I like that they have disputes in the household around the show. That's important.
That's love.
Any Jalen and Jacoby household is a great household.
Yeah. And also call together.
First of all, I got to ask Reg a question. Reg, you're never getting a mic, so you're not going to give it to the people.
Yes,
give it to me in my ear. Reg, I've been down with Reggie since Pick It Up. I thought because Reggie, a lot of people don't know about this, but Reggie has done some cameos in some films over the years, and I thought maybe that this person was down with Reg since one of his cameos.
Reggie Noble
on the
board.
Pick It Up. If you see let's not explain. Why are we so hard on Rondo?
We give Rondo a lot of love on this program. I just don't feel like the situation in Los Angeles is going to be one that allows him to perform at his optimum. Because he balled in the playoffs for New Orleans.
Yep, playoff Rondo's amazing. I don't feel like we're too hard on Rondo. I mean, I think sometimes we bring up his past sort of not seeing eye to eye with head coaches and franchises and other players, but that happens in any business. And most importantly, I do have to acknowledge something. I absolutely do love Lance Stephenson.
He does. This is not phony.
I really do.
It's not for the cameras.
But I do say things like he's going to be the MVP. I don't believe that to be true. I do think that he's the leader of the team. I don't think that to be true. But I do love Lance Stephenson. That is all real. I've been a Lance fan since he was 14, 15 years old. Thank you so much for the call.
Shout out.
Jalen Rose, here we are on Wednesday, and I'm still in awe. I'm still reeling from that heavyweight fight that we had over the weekend between Wilder and Fury. It was such a spectacle. I had the pleasure of paying my money to see that. I got every penny's worth and more. However, at the end, there were a lot of people that were upset about the decision to be a draw. And it's not just one way. I think some people felt like Fury won easily. Some people felt like Deontay Wilder won easily. I was very happy with the draw. I felt fully comfortable with it. But the WBC felt that they had to release a statement about the decision, and they did. Here is part of that statement. They said, quote, "The heavyweight fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury resulted in a sensational and dramatic heavyweight match, and the end result could not be more just, with a draw by 3 scoring judges." Jalen Rose, do you agree with their statement about the decision?
I agree. And this is a classic draw for anybody who's followed the sweet science. Because, yes, in the early rounds, Fury did outbox him. He looked real slick, ducked a lot of punches. He was the aggressor. His jab was the signature punch. His 1-2 continued to land. But as the fight progressed past 7, Wilder became more powerful. He started to connect. And then all of a sudden, the champ gets a knockdown in the 9th round. They fight 10 and 11. The champ gets another knockdown in the 12th round. And I think Terrence Crawford is the person that initially tweeted this. And then this guy, Fury, got up like the Undertaker.
Yep.
Shout to the referee, the official, who didn't stop the fight. Because normally when a fighter's out on his back and his head's on the canvas, you automatically stop it.
One thing that was interesting about this is one judge had it as a draw, and then one judge had it heavily for Fury, and one judge had it heavily for Wilder. But none of that really matters now. All that matters now is I'll pay double for the rematch. We're gonna get the rematch. And somewhere Joshua was just like, "Hey, what about me, guys?" It's like, you're gonna have to wait.
Well, it worked out good actually for Anthony Joshua, because now if he really wants to maximize his ability to not only get earning potential, he could fight the loser first.
Oh, I like that.
And then fight the winner.
Remember where you heard it first. Jalen Rose, we love basketball. We love hip-hop. We love power couples. I have a sad power couple update. I would say that second to Beyonce and Jay-Z, Offset and Cardi B are the second couple of hip-hop. They got married. They had a child.
Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys.
Okay. I'm putting Cardi B and Offset in front of them at the time being. They're hot now. Jalen, Cardi B took to social media and she left us this video.
Things just haven't been working out between us for a long time, and it's nobody's fault. It's just like, I guess we grew out of love, but we're not together anymore. I don't know, it might take time to get a divorce, and I'm going to always have a lot of love for him because he is my daughter's father, and yeah.
Jalen Rose, she says they're getting divorced. She says she has a lot of love for him. What do you think about this ending of this power couple?
I hate to see it, but ultimately they're going to clearly do what makes both of them happy and more productive parents. I'm glad that she handled her. I'm glad her post was done with maturity and with taste, not with emotion.
Screaming and
because
accusations.
She has so many fans that would follow her lead and her energy either way towards him.
It's a good point.
So I appreciate that. But it also taught me something. When you're in a relationship, you hope it has a definition. Because she talked about growing out of love and them not being together. But on one hand, she called him a baby daddy. And on the other term, she used divorce.
Quick question. Strapless top or is she naked?
She naked. It's Cardi B.
Thank you to all the ladies that called on Women Crush Wednesday. We really appreciate those calls. Also, remember, if your child knows the intro, record your child doing the intro on our voicemail. Or record it and send it to @Jalen and Jacoby on Instagram or Twitter. We really want to see your child do the intro, and we might play it even on the show. We really will. Thank you so much for everybody that called in, everyone that's listening.
Shout out.
We will be back tomorrow. Why is that, KRS?
Speaking of the Hobbits, let's talk about LeBron
Cardi
James.
B, top 5 Dead or Alive. Oh, I thought Cardi B was like top 5 album of the year. If you listen to that album, it's good. She didn't write any of those rhymes. It's a good album. It's a good album. I'm just telling you, that's why you don't got a mic, Reg.
What? Getting knocked down on the football field makes you tough. But getting back up makes you tougher. At Goodyear, we call that determination. A willingness to put in more hours, more reps, and more heart to reach a bar that's sky high. Because the Goodyear blimp doesn't show up for just anybody. So don't be just anybody. Be blimp-worthy. Goodyear, more driven.